Let me start it back up. I'll just have two. There will be 2 segments I have to pull in. You ready?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, we should be good. Man, that was bizarre. What happened? I was still in there in the stream. Did you see me on the stream? Like I was talking, but
yeah.
Were y'all talking to each other?
I was singing a freeze frame. Freeze frame.
So was I frozen on y'all's end?
Freeze frame.
Yeah, you just froze.
And then you saw on the stream, you saw how frozen you were. You were just in there. I was like, damn it, what happened? Skype. I couldn't kill Skype, so I had to go in Task Manager and end it. It was not gonna go out on its own. It was clinging to life, barely clinging to life. I don't remember what the last bit we were talking about was. I know I wrapped up games played, so.
I literally, as soon as you froze, I was like, let me just go into mine, and then
no recording.
The recording died, and me and Bram were just trying to figure out where we're at, so I don't spoil Bram, because apparently I'm a little bit further in the game I played this week, which was just God of War, Ragnarok.
The new God of War.
So, yes. The completion of the new Norse saga. I'm saying I got about 15 hours into the game. I'm probably near the end. I think there's only one more world that I'm required to go to complete the story.
You think so at 15 hours?
No, it's probably after I complete this. That part is probably going to take me 20 hours, probably. But there's still a bit of stuff that I haven't done yet, so I won't go into the story bit because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, and especially don't want to spoil anything for Brant. I'm further than him.
Are you enjoying it?
Playing this game, going from the first God of War 2018 to this one, I noticed the biggest jarring difference, like how different the game looks, because it took me a while to adjust to it. So it does play a lot differently than the 2018 one, since I just literally beat the 2018 one this week. At some point, I did switch to. I was playing on the. Was it? Not performance, but what's the other word for it?
Fidelity.
Fidelity. Yeah, I was playing on the high end stuff, and then I noticed some slowdown when I was in Svartalheim, and I was like, "Fuck this!" And I went to performance, and I haven't switched back since.
That's your recommended go-to setting.
I guess it'll be different for everybody. They just did a big patch update last night when I was playing the game. It's like, oh, we're updating this game in the middle of so I don't know what they fixed. So I was like, that's a good stopping point. So I might go back to Fidelity again and try it afterwards. So I mean, it takes place like a couple years after that game. They did add a mechanic on there where me and Richard played in Gears of War 5, where you have that sled mechanic. So that is in there too, where you use it to explore different.
I love that in Gears.
And I feel like it controls a lot better in this game than it does in Gears. It's like, I guess they played the Gears one. It's like, what, we can make it better.
This is interesting, but it's kind of a hassle.
But I think that's pretty good. That's new. Another thing they've changed is that you can pre-freeze your axe. So I do that a lot too. So you can hold triangle and freeze it up before you start in a battle. I don't remember what it. I'm so used to pre-freezing it now. I don't remember what it was done in the first one. I think it just automatically froze right as you start attacking, I believe. But I know this one you can pre-freeze.
What's the mechanic behind freezing the axe?
It just gives you another like magic ability to go in
Okay.
because it does like this weird tornado thing, and then also you can. It's mostly used for battle. I mean, it doesn't change anything because you use the axe to do puzzle solving. It still works as intended when you throw at it. I don't know about you, Brent, but the puzzles seem a lot more difficult. This time I actually went up. There's some puzzles I have to look at, and I'm like,
yeah,
not as obvious as it was in the first game. Like,
I'm standing there doing the same thing over and over, and then a Trace is like, hey, look over here. And he's just standing right next to me. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm trying to figure this
Oh,
shit
no,
out.
is he like the little dinosaur in Star Fox Adventures?
Yeah.
Hey, over here!
So, like, your partner, every level there's always a partner in the game that always assists you in battle. It's tied to the square button, and I don't want to go into too much details, but Brand will come at some point where you will get different ones at certain points. So there's a thing where they will tell you like, hey, attack here. So there's an option accessibilities where you can go in there and tell it to wait longer for your puzzle solving so they don't spoil the ending for you. I had to go in there and turn it on. That way they're not sitting there blasting like, just blast this thing, and I'm like, ground.
Yeah.
Figure it out because it's just them yelling in my ear constantly, like, just blast. What are you doing? I think some of the stuff in there, like some of the side conversations they have in there, like, hey, what is Kratos doing? It's like, oh, he likes to explore and just loot things. So it's like some of the stuff is hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
As he's going around and looting shit.
Who says that? Is it like a narrator or somebody in the story?
I cannot say
Okay.
because it would spoil the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's characters that just makes observations and they call it out loud.
comments and
So I noticed that the puzzle solving is a lot more difficult this time around. The battles seem a little bit more difficult too. Just playing on normal.
same.
And they went back to the old God of War 2 where you started finding health and magic upgrades in treasure chests now because they didn't do that in the first one. You remember playing the first one where they just give you random shit in the first one, and the second the chest now, and it's like they made that little nod to like any of the big chests, the Nord chests have like, oh, an apple upgrades your health, oh, a horn upgrades your magic, so your rage.
I like that system on the first two.
So it's like they made a nod to that one on there. The other thing they added in there was you can play as Atreus. Because before he was just kind of a character that was mashed to the square button in the first game. And in this one, there's certain segments where you have full control of him and you can do upgrades on him and everything. So I think that's all the big differences on there. Man, outside of that, I've enjoyed it. You go into, because of story reasons, you're no longer in Midgard. Midgard was like the biggest realm in the first game where you did a lot of your exploration. This one, they kind of, for reasons known to the story, Midgard is sealed off to certain segments. It's more linear in that one, and then like your other realms is more open-ended. So as you go through like Svartalfheim or a realm that cannot be named because Brent hasn't gotten there yet, you'll do the main quest, and after you complete the main quest, which is very linear, it opens up at the end. Like it gives you a whole bunch of side quests you can do for these characters you met, and then that blows open the map where you can just get on the canoe or get on the dog sled or go around.
That's cool.
And do some additional side quests. You don't have to.
But you've wrapped up. You've
all
essentially wrapped up that main area, and you can go on to the next one. So you can mainline it and not get distracted by all the other stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like everything that they've done side quest wise is based off Norse mythology. So if you're a big fan of mythology and that type of historical
Right.
stuff, then
Lore.
you enjoy the side quests, yeah, because you'll end up meeting a lot of different characters and they go into deeper in the lore and how they interact with that Norse world. I'm trying to stay away from the story parts. The guy that plays Odin is he's really awesome. God, he's a movie actor, isn't he? What's his name? I've seen him in movies before. Richard might know him from movies. I think he's a pretty big actor in movies.
I'm not aware of
Show
anybody in the
Thor.
cast really.
Yeah. Bad. That boss battle for Thor is pretty fucking wicked. There's some good stuff in there, man. I'll say it. I'll fuck it. Brant. I think that best bit with Thor is when you thought you fucked up on the QTE and you die. And he's like, "No, I'm not done with you yet." And he uses electricity and brings you back to life.
I decide when we're finished.
I thought I lost because I didn't press circle enough, and he's like, "No, I ain't done with you yet." And he just hits him with the hammer and brings him back to life. So it was like it was part of the gameplay. That was probably one of the best boss battles I've played in a long time. It's pretty good.
That sounds like a good touch.
Because I thought I lost. I thought I fucked up. I was like, "What do you mean? I was hitting the hell out of that QT. Get out of here." No. I'm not done with you.
So it says Odin is voiced by the West Wing star Richard
Skiff. Yep.
Who the hell is that?
Schiff.
Look him up real quick on. You'll recognize him immediately because I recognized him when I saw him as. Odin.
Oh, he was Toby.
Money.
He was Toby in The West Wing.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does a really good job, man. He's a real dick. I was like, he's doing it perfectly.
He's most recently in the
outside of that-
Good Doctor. He's the father character of the main character in The Good Doctor. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He was the main surgeon. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. He's done a really good job on there. There's a lot of good surprises in there. You can't really tell where the story's going, so there's still some mystery in there. I know there's going to open up a little bit more when Rand goes through his segment he's in now. But yeah, like I said, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go into too much details, but it's a solid improvement from the first game. So I'm enjoying it. It's pulled me in. It's one of those few games where it's lose track of time playing it. So that's all I got to say about that. And that's pretty much all I played this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to Brandon to give his take on that.
Cool. I think that's his first video game performance. I was looking through because he's such a great, like, especially TV actor. Video games, God of War Ragnarok is his only one. Facial and motion capture.
Immediately when I saw Odin, I knew it was him. I was like immediately, and he was he plays a good old man.
It's pretty cool.
Same. I mean, I've played Halo with y'all. Been playing God of War. I did have a very interesting thing happen in God of War. I posted it on our Instagram. So if y'all go take a look at that, I had it's not a spoiler or anything, but I had a very interesting.
I missed this somehow.
Where
there it is. As soon as I pull it up,
there's a lot of jumps and things that Kratos does, where he jumps down and hangs on the blades of chaos.
Oh, Brant!
But in this instance, it was a area to where Kratos could obviously just jump down onto like some level ground, but instead he jumped down, whipped out the blades, and hung down and went broke through the boundaries of the game. And I'm hanging below the
looking up at all the assets,
everything. And thankfully, I was just like, oh shit! I was able to press circle and get right back up out of it, and
that's good stuff.
I was able to jump back down there like nothing had happened. Stuff. It was fine. And after that small clip, I actually tried to recreate it, but he would never do it. So it was a really, really bizarre.
That's wild. It saw no ground detection. It just went straight through.
No, it was awesome. Really odd.
Love when games do crazy stuff like that.
Other than I know. Other than that, I haven't had any weird or odd glitches with this game.
Are you playing on performance?
I am. I went ahead and chose performance.
That gameplay clip looks smooth as butter.
Oh yeah, it's great. Other than that,
oh my gosh.
The Splatfest had just ended a few hours ago. This Splatfest was Pokemon themed because the new Pokemon games come out next Friday. So this one was pick your type as far as like the 3 starters go. So it was either Team Fire, Team Water.
Oh yeah, that started.
Yeah, it's already over.
It ended. Yeah. It ended.
Sure. I missed a lot this past week.
Well, it was only for this weekend, and I don't know. It might have started Friday.
It did. It started the 11th, I believe, which is Friday.
I know I played a few Saturday, and then I played some today, and then we were tied up for most of this afternoon. But then I came home and was playing a little bit with my son sitting next to me, and we played like 2 games, and then all of a sudden it got a communication error and kicked out, and you get that multiplayer maps and modes have updated, and then as soon as it said that at like I want to say that was at like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. No, it was 7 o'clock.
You knew that was it?
That the Splat it came on and Splatfest is over, and then, did that whole thing, and for some reason the results didn't show up, so I'm guessing I think after the last Splatfest that happened as well, and you had to wait
a
couple days.
Should be by tomorrow. It randomly should do the whatever you chose tomorrow morning or something.
So, I've got the 3 new amiibo coming for that tomorrow as well.
Cool.
And gosh, other than that, still playing some Overwatch 2. I actually finished all 80 tiers of the Battle Pass the other day. So, and after you finish those tiers, you get like some extra tiers, which are just for they're prestige tiers, and they give you like some titles or something. Nothing really,
Right.
extra. It would have been nice to, get some in-game currency or, some kind of, I don't know, anything. But it's just like, oh, you get this title. If you get, 5 tiers past 80, and then the next one's at like 95, and then it keeps going up. And then I did play while we were sitting there waiting to get on. We all noticed that we had some updates on our Xboxes.
Some updates. All the updates.
Mm-hmm.
All the updates. And y'all's was ready, and I thought mine was too, but then all of a sudden it did notice that Infinite needed an update, so I pulled up Infinite.
Yeah, that's right.
And played it on there. And it was not a bad experience. That's always been my thing with xCloud is if you are tethered to a decent Wi-Fi, you're gonna have a decent time. Because also, I want to say it was last week, I had the same thing. I was sitting somewhere. We were waiting for lunch to be ready. And I was just looking for something to do, and I just out of curiosity whipped out the Game Pass app, looked at all the stuff that's available. Didn't have my controller on me, so I had to look at games that also had the touch controls.
Brant plays with touch controls.
I played through the introduction of Persona 5 Royale on Game Pass. Cloud touch controls. And it was not terrible.
That's a good one to try.
But I guess
usually doesn't require.
I was about to say,
button, so.
If there's anything to try, it would be some kind of RPG game for that specific scenario, which is kind of why I chose it. You don't want to have some kind of crazy action game when you're
fighter
messing with touch controls.
Come on, don't be a coward, Brant. Play Bayonetta on there.
I thought about because I think Fable 1 and 2 were on there and supported touch controls. I thought about it for a second. I was like,
that's always one of those. I'm like, man, I want to like that game. And we did it for Game Club one time. We actually did Game Club. I was like, this is trash.
Yeah.
This game sucks so bad.
There's dedicated people out there that love that game though.
Oh, this game is bad.
That's always been one of those that I'm like, it looked like an interesting concept. It's always something I've really wanted to try, but then I've heard other people, they're like, yeah, it's so.
Very, very linear. Not at all what was like pitched or shown off or back of the box or anything. It's
all right. The best way to play the game is never ever hearing anything of it.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard of Fable. All right, here, and then you put it in somebody's hands. And that's the best way to play it. Yeah.
It probably is. Maybe I can forget what I've ever thought about it and go in blind and try it.
Yeah.
Or at least Fable 2. I've given Fable and Fable Anniversary a shot. Let me try Fable 2. The missus had that. That was one of her first 360 games. She'd just throw the ball to the dog, and the dog would bring back the ball like nonstop, fetching with the dog.
But yeah, as soon as I booted up God of War, my son's like standing in the doorway watching. I'm like, hey, stop that. And I came over to the game shelf and grabbed him God of War HD for the Vita. I said, if you want somewhere to start, there you go.
Those are so good, man.
There's 2 games right there.
There's a...
Yep, kick a box simulator, the first
one. They would always shoot it at the last minute. I'd be so,
out of time.
pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd get it all the way down there and they'd fucking shoot it right, like, damn it. There's a pretty good Twitter follow called Standard Definition Gaming, and they're like, the bio says everything's hooked up to a composite TV. It's like a Magnavox. It's not anything special. There's no SCART cables. They didn't go the path that Brand is fearful of. And they were doing the Colossus of Rhodes battle from God of War 2 on the PS2 with all the screen tearing and frame rate drops and all that stuff. And I was just like, that game was awesome. That game was so ahead of its time. I mean, it was such a wonderful follow up to the first one, but it was like the PS2 never should have been able to pull that off, and it did. And that was a technical marvel on that game. That Colossus of Rhodes, like the scale of that thing as he's coming after you, and you shoot his eye, and all the stuff that you do with it, and you know, you go into the building, and you end up going. I'm gonna have to play this map again. I'm gonna have to play this level. It's so much fun. And I was watching that. It's like a 30-second clip on that Standard Definition Gaming site Twitter handle, and I was like, hell yeah, that was a fun moment. And that was after the PS3 had come out. Like it was the February or something right after that. How is he enjoying that one? Is he get past the boat? Get past the Hydras?
Yeah, he said he got stuck on the Hydras for a little bit because he couldn't figure out why they kept reviving, and then he finally realized he had to, you know, go up to the top and pin
them down with those things. Yeah.
And
revive me.
It was at that point I said, hold on a minute, and I came in here and I got him a
strategy guide.
I had one of the strategy guides for one, and was just like, this is your new best friend. So, because I know there's a couple of the puzzles and stuff on there that just they're it's not that they're like, you know, super hard or anything. It's just
they're obtuse. It's that generation of
they're very.
It's that generation of puzzles.
Because I remember sitting in the basement with one of my friends, and we're sitting there trying to play it and having to pause it, go to the computer, and look up the game facts to try and figure out this puzzle, because you've been sitting there for damn near 15-20 minutes, and you're like, I don't know what to do. What is it? There's nothing around this room, and you have to like leave the room, go around the corner, and get this thing, and drag it all the way.
And let's be honest, some of the puzzles, like, they're fun once they click, or if you're just gonna do them. But the fun of those early God of War games is not the puzzles. That's not what you're there for. I remember some similar puzzles from that same era, like Resident Evil 4, where it's just a head scratching thing, like, move these eggs in this certain, and it's like, just let me go through the door to the next thing. I'm headed to the next thing. There's going to be more of those things that I enjoyed that I just did. That's not this. let me get through to that. Yeah. Cool. The whole McKee family's playing God of War games.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Is that it for you, sir?
That's it.
Y'all got anything you want to add before we get out of here? 10 o'clock?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.
Okay.